everybody, welcome to my channel and thank you for joining. Now in today's episode we're gonna go through round 6 review. It was probably, I would say it was the worst round that I've ever had in Supercoach. It was that bad. Okay, now I've never had a round or even a season as bad as I'm having this year, and round 6 was the icing on the cake. It was unbelievable, just coming down. Now I want to tell you a story before I start showing you my team, and this story is actually a true story, and it reflects how my Supercoach team is going at the moment. Because when things don't go your way, they really don't go your way. Okay, now I remember when I used to play poker. Okay, I used to be I wouldn't say a professional poker player, but I used to play it for a living on the side. So if that makes sense, I was sort of like a semi-professional because I relied on the poker money to pay my rent. Okay, so I was playing poker to pay my rent off. Now, and this is going back before COVID. Okay, now. Back then, I was half decent. I wouldn't say I was a mastermind or anything like that, but I was half decent. And I come on a patch where sometimes, because when you play poker, you need to have money in your account, okay? Because there has to be funds in the account because you're going to have times where you're just not going to win, okay? So you can't always win in poker. The aim of poker is the long run, okay? So short-term up and downs can be very volatile. However, this particular season, playing poker, I had a 6-month period where I couldn't win, okay? No matter what I did, okay? If I have pocket aces against a deuce 3 and I go all in pre-flop, I'd lose, okay? Whatever I did, I lost. So every time I went to play poker, the confidence was shattered, okay? I knew no matter what I had, I was going to lose. And it happened. So you sort of took breaks, okay? I kept taking, instead of playing once every 2 or 3 days, I'd play once a week, maybe once a fortnight, knowing there's no point going if I'm going to lose. I just wait till this bad luck gets out of the way so that I can continue having some normal fortune. Because at the end of the day, you play the odds, and the odds can't always go against you. It has to turn. Well, unfortunately, in Supercoach, forget about the odds. Whatever I pick, okay, this has nothing to do with poker, but in Supercoach, whatever I do, the opposite happens. Okay, it's like a magnet. Okay, it's following me around. Okay, it's just someone's cursed me. It's just bad luck, and all I've made this year, okay, huge mistake, is 3 of them. 3 bad mistakes. Those 3 bad mistakes have virtually derailed the whole season, and I'm paying for it now. And I'll tell you what those 3 mistakes were. Mistake number 1, not starting Levi Ashcroft. Now, I got to see him play. He scored the 84, the 72. Now, why would I not be happy with these scores? Okay, now I didn't, because I could have got him in round 3 before his price went up. I decided. I seen Levi Ashcroft. Sometimes you overthink things. Okay, and this one I overthought it because. Even though we know the pedigree is there, he's a gun, junior numbers are all there, everything's there, okay? And but the role wasn't there. He was playing half forward. Now I was thinking I'm going to pay 180k for a half, 185k for a half forward. Not a role that I really like, okay? Now I looked at his CBAs, nothing there, so I said I'd rather go against him and pick up Lindsay. Okay, now Lindsay was playing half back, so I could only pick one of it. It was either Levi Ashcroft or Lindsay. So I went for Lindsay because of the fact that he plays half back. Levi Ashcroft had his arms all strapped up. Okay, it looked like he was going to get a shoulder injury. I mean, he didn't play round 1. He did play round 1, but he wasn't going to play round 1 because he was a sub. So I thought maybe a sub risk as well. So I didn't gamble on Ashcroft. I thought he can't do as much damage as Lindsay, because Lindsay is playing the half-back role and getting a lot of disposals. Well, that didn't work out because Ashcroft scoring 87, 90, 89. These scores are pretty much what my primos are scoring. So I've now literally got 1 primo less than everyone else because Levi Ashcroft is playing like a primo. So this has destroyed me, okay, this decision. Really bad decision. And losing because my primos are scoring, my rookies are scoring 30 to 40 points a week, okay? So I'm competing against a 90. I'm losing 50 points every single week against Levi Ashcroft, okay? So that's, besides that 1 week where he scored the 36, it's about 200 points difference just there, okay? Now, there's more. The next player was Murphy Reed. Now, in round 1, when I watched him, I mean, he was cheap. He was pretty much the type of player that I target, okay? How do I not start Murphy Reed? It's insane. He scored a 50. From memory, he was on like negative 5 points at half time. He wasn't scoring, okay? So I thought, and then he kicked 4 goals to get his 50 points. And it looked like robbery, but I thought, if he's going to kick 4 goals to get 50 points every single week, there's no way I'm going to start him. There's no point. Now, the following week, he scored 75. He didn't really impress that much at that 75 score. And I saw that 4 goals to get his 50. And I thought maybe the 75, he was overscoring. Okay, so I thought, and I didn't have any place to trade out at the time, although I could have traded him out for the Spuds I had on the bench, but I had too many Spuds, so I let it go. Okay, and the rest is history. Now, it's not like he's gone nuts. I mean, he scored the 58 against Richmond, 73, but he scored that 106, 82, but he's made money, okay? And he's made an extra 100K than what my Spuds have made, okay? Plus, scoring a little bit better than what my Spuds are scoring. But the same reason I didn't start Ashcroft, I didn't start Reed, because of the fact that he needs goals. Well, that's what I thought. He needs to kick goals to get a decent score, but another miss, okay? So I missed 2 players now. Between the two, maybe this one's got an extra 100 points in him. So that's an extra 100 points or maybe 150 points that I've missed out plus the cash. Now, the next player is Sam Powell-Pepper. Okay, I looked at his previous averages, okay? It's a 67, 52 last year, but he didn't play many games. He's averaging 71 now, so it's pretty much similar to what he was doing before. But the problem with Sam Powell-Pepper, besides the averages, okay, something that I didn't consider was this. Okay, now, let's go 2023. His scoring was the same every week. Okay, so you can see here, 2023, he only scored 100 in 2023, so he didn't do much, okay? If you go to 2022, because 2024, he hardly played, all right? So if you go to 2022, Sam Powell-Pepper, there was only 100 again. There's nothing. Everything is actually, there's 2 of them. But it's, for 180K, you're paying for Sam Powell-Pepper. And mind you, he had some midfield minutes in these games. This year, no midfield minutes. So I didn't want to get him, okay? I didn't want to spend 180K on a Sam Powell-Pepper who's not going to do nothing, okay? So I said pass. And by round 3, my decision was justified, okay? He scored the 18, 83, and 48. Even a 74 didn't matter, okay? Because you're paying 180K for a player. It doesn't matter because these 120K rookies are also scoring 50s and 60s. So 74 for a 180K player, it didn't worry me, okay? But what hurts is this. Back-to-back 100s, okay? Now, something that's not in Sam Powell-Pepper's genes, to score back-to-back. He's never done it before. So he goes and does it to please his owners, and there's another 145K, bang. He's going to make more cash. Break even now. What's his break even? Minus 14. There's another minimum 50K to 60K coming his way. So, missed out on another one. So these are 3 players that I've missed. These are the big ones. I don't think there's anyone else that I've missed that's big, okay? Maybe you could say Connor O'Sullivan, but I've got Reed, I've got Bice, I've got Trainer. I brought in Bice before O'Sullivan, and I'd say O'Sullivan was a miss, okay? Yes, I agree, but those 3 are the big ones, okay? I've missed those. So every week, okay, as you can see here, whilst my rookies are scoring these 30s, 50s, and 30s, we're getting these other rookies that I don't have scoring 90s, 80s, 100s. So just these 3 alone, okay? Let's go 3 scores. Moraes 30, Lindsay 55, that's 85 points. Cleary 35, 30, that's 100 points. My 3 Spuds rookies have scored 100 points, while these 3 rookies that I don't have, between them, scored 270 points. So I'm giving a 170-point head start or 150-point head start to every single team that has these 3 players. Okay, maybe some don't have one of them. So I'm giving them a 100-point head start. That's disaster. Okay, you cannot win super. You can't finish in the top 1% if you're going to give up 1%. 100-point head start. And my Spuds, and even the bench, there's nothing. Okay, you can see here: Gross 11, Nevitt 40, Hanley 16. I've got Stone scoring a 40, okay, and he's my best rookie. Okay, work this out. I got him on the bench, 40 points. I should have just played him, but no, I chose to pick Zach Reed, 38. I mean, he had 40 points, all right? I decided I'm going to start Trainer. I mean, Stone's got 40. Trainer's a sub, I know. He was a sub, but I said I'll start Trainer just in case he plays in the first quarter. What am I going to lose? Surely he scores at least 20 points. I only lose 20 points, and probably his score getting taken out. But no, 40 points. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 players that couldn't even reach 40 points. Okay, that could. Well, 2 or 3 of them couldn't pass 30. Okay, it's insane. So, what's hurt me the most was Nathan O'Driscoll going out. Okay, that killed me because the team with O'Driscoll in the team. He was taking these 30s off the field, so he was making up for lost points. O'Driscoll would have hurt most of the other teams, but when they got another player like Levi Ashcroft scoring big enough, O'Driscoll doesn't hurt them, okay? But it hurts a team like me who has Spuds on the field not even cracking the 60. So my biggest mistake was not starting those 3 players, and that was huge. And then you back it up, okay? Not as if that's not enough, okay? Forget the rookies, okay? Because we've absolutely wrecked it with the we picked the Spuds of the rookies, and we were the rookies off the field that are not playing. Johnson, I thought for sure he as a second ruckman he plays for sure. Misjudged that one. Every year. My biggest mistake is my rookies. I don't have knowledge on the rookies. I always get this wrong. This year, it was the worst. Even though I knew Levi Ashcroft was good, I didn't get him because of his role. Because I overthought things. I thought Lindsay would be much better, okay, because he plays off half-back. But what did Lindsay do? Okay, let's have a look. Lindsay... Well, he scored the 86 to 70. This was when I was tossing up between Lindsay and Levi Ashcroft. Okay, and then he gets injured, scores the 9 points, comes back, doesn't do nothing. 48, 50. It's still decent. It's better than the other Spuds. Okay, now what are we going to do now with this team? And now we're going to talk for our trades tomorrow. It's going to be in tomorrow's video. Now you may say, why do I always change my mind when I do my trades? I had a comment the other day. It said, why did you change your trades? What's the point of having a trades video? Well, the trades videos have always been set. I've always been set on what I was going to do. But last week, we did a last-minute switch because we had, in this position here, instead of Petrarca, we had Gorn here, okay, in our trades last week. However... we took out Gorn because of the fact that I saw the way, what's his name? The player from West Coast, Flynn. I saw Flynn score a big 140, and I thought he's going to be a target next week. And where am I going to put him? All right, I'm going to put him. I'm not going to put him in the ruck, because I'm going to put him up at flex. So he's going to be. That's why I didn't take Gorn, because if I had the Conning, Nank, and Gorn, I've got no room for Flynn. So I had to make a last-minute switch and take out Gorn, bring in Petrarca, and then I was going to move Petrarca to the midfield and get rid of one of these Spuds, okay? And that's what's going to happen this week. So this week, we're not going to be as bad as we were last week. Now, going on to last week, let's see what we scored. Now, we didn't crack 2,000. That's unheard of. I went to the history, okay, to see when was the last time I didn't crack 2,000. And when you go to the history, I'm going to show you the history in a minute. Our team value is 11.4 mil. Well, it's actually 11.5 mil because we've got 100K in the bank. So it's 11.5 mil. Last year, this time, we're going to see what our team value was. And it was a lot better than 11.5 mil, okay? Now, actually, let's have a look at last year. Okay, let's go to our team. We've got 11.5 mil this year. Let's just remember that. Okay, let's go history. and it's round 6, end of round 6. Okay, you can see here, round 6, 11.5. All right. Now, if we go to last year, 2024, all right, round 6, we had 12.5 mil. Okay, our ranking you can see is much better because of we got cash. Okay, actually the following we got up to 13 mil by the time we got to round 8. There is no way I'm getting to 13 mil in round 8 in 2 weeks' time. Impossible. Okay, if anything, my 11.5 mil probably dropped to 11 mil because my plays are all spuds just coming down. So the previous year, okay, in a bad year, I had a bad year in 2023. It was a bad year. Okay, now 2023, this was the year to forget. It was my first year playing, as a content creator. Okay, 2023. Even then, my team value was 12.3 mil. I mean, I wasn't doing that well. Okay, I was ranked 4,000. We got it to 1,000 eventually, but it wasn't a good team. Okay, so again, I had issues with Spuds, Spud rookies that I didn't start with. But 2023 was a lot better than this year. The previous year, 2022, by end of round 6, how much cash do we have? This 12.5 mil again, similar to last year. Now, my team has a disease. It's called every second year. They go wandering. Okay, they get big heads. So every second year, my team's a spud. The other second year, my team's in the top 100. I can't work it out. This year is the second year, spuds again. I can't get 2 years back to back where my team can go good every year. It doesn't happen. It's every second year something happens. My good friend Dave Swiss, okay, from Supercoach Insiders, he used to have the same problem. Okay, every second year he used to go bad. We used to actually joke about it. Okay, I used to laugh at him. Okay, I used to say to him, "This year you're going to go bad because it's the second year." Well, it's happened to me. Now karma's hit me, just coming down. Okay, so now I've copped every second year bloopers because I picked on him. Okay, that's what happens. You don't pick on people because you get karma, and karma's hit me hard. So let's go through our spuds now. Who's letting me down? Well, I've got Sinclair and Zorko. Now, I paid for Sinclair 585k. Zorko 585k. Zorko's break even. Zorko is a massive disappointment. Okay, break even to 171. What's he scored? Okay, well, he scored the 139, 136 the first 2 rounds. All right, and I got him in round 3. I got the 135. He backed it up for 94 against Richmond. We said maybe an off day, okay? Backed it up for an 82 against the Dogs. Now a 70. I paid 600k for this spud, okay? Now, massive letdown. Now, the problem is, you can say he's highly owned, but he's not, okay? He's owned by, how many people own him? Let's have a look. He's owned by 22%, so there's 78% lucky customers that don't have him. So, and they're going to get him very cheap. So, by getting him cheap, that's another 100k I've lost because people are going to pay 100k cheaper than what I paid for him. Sinclair's actually doing okay, so we can't compete because the minute we got Sinclair in, okay, now Sinclair's been half decent, okay, although this week he wasn't, because when it rains it pours at Abs Magic, and as you can see, all the defenders didn't score. Now, Sinclair has pretty much cracked a ton every week except last week. Scored a 70. He plays Brisbane Lions this week. We'll see what he does. I've got no confidence in my players. I don't expect them to go big. I know some people even captain Sinclair, and I feel so bad for them last week, okay? And you just didn't expect to score from him. We go to our defenders. I mean, we got in Whitfield last week. That was decent. So if you go to our trade history, all right? Let's go to our trade history. Well, did we wreck it in our trade history maybe? Maybe that's our problem, okay? Let's have a look. Now, in round 2, we traded out Perryman, Chera, and Flynn, okay, who we're going to bring back. Now, we traded out Chera. It wasn't that he was going bad. It was just that because we were trading out Perryman, we needed to bring in a defender. And this was a 2-week trade because it was the bye rounds. So it didn't matter where they played. But we're eyeing to bring in 2 defenders, which we brought in the following week, Zorko and Sinclair. So Chera was was traded out because we needed to reshuffle the whole team around. So virtually we traded out Stewart, Day, Chera, and Perryman, and Flynn. Okay, so now if you count the primo count here, all right, not that there were gun primos, but you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players that at the start of the season we counted as primos. We traded them out, and who do we bring in? Well, we brought in Zorko, Sinclair, and Nathan O'Driscoll. Now O'Driscoll was playing like a primo, so let's count him as a primo scoring player because he's scoring pretty much what Flynn would score. So that's 3. Brought in Dunkley, that's 4, and brought in Lindsay and Bice. Now, Bice was a good pick. Okay, none of these picks are bad picks. Okay, so even though we traded out Chera, probably the best of the lot here, we traded out, but the replacements weren't bad, so we're not losing points on Chera because the replacements were decent. The following week, we traded out, because this is a 2-week trade out. The round 2 and 3 was a 2-week plan. Okay, now the following week, these are all 1-week plans. We traded out the Horny Man, Short, and Camporeale because Camporeale wasn't playing. Okay, now he got replaced by Matt Rowell and Smits. I mean, we traded out the Horny Man virtually for Smits, okay, because Smits had a very low break even, and even though the Horny Man, he went, because every time we trade someone out, they go nuts, okay, so the Horny Man went nuts that week, but we had to bring in Smith, there was no other way, and I liked Rowell, I thought Rowell looked decent, but the week we got him, he scored a 75, so it's what happens, okay, so I expect no less, and Short actually outscored Rowell that week, which is expected, so and the Horny Man outscored Smith, okay, so it happens. Now, the following week, we traded out Rosie, Richards, and Nathan O'Driscoll because O'Driscoll got injured. So we made the 100k on O'Driscoll, okay, and traded out these two. But the players we brought in, Brayshaw scored a 155. Whitfield, well, he scored 145 just last week. So it's not like the players out. I mean, these two possibly not in the year keepers, Rosie or Richards, well, these two are, Brayshaw and Whitfield. If you go through even all the trades, Dunkley possibly, I picked him as a keeper, okay, so Dunkley, top 8, let's just say, okay, we're not sure at the moment, but possibly Sinclair, Zorko, all going to be top 8, whereas the ones that went out, they were not top 8s, okay, Stewart, Day, Chera, Perryman, so even though Chera at the moment is playing like a top 8, at the time, plus he was training with the half-backs, we just thought he was not going to be a top 8. Anyway, I should have traded out Oliver instead of Chera. That was the mistake. It had to be Oliver. Anyway, it was Chera anyway now. So, going back over here, Rosie we traded out because of the fact that he wasn't scoring. 166 break even, and then he goes to half-back and plays a good role. It has to happen to me. The minute I trade someone out, they have a good role. Richards, he wasn't scoring. Okay, he had a 28 at halftime the previous week. He did score, but I have no regrets with these two trades because I brought in these two players. I couldn't bring these two any other way. And virtually Brayshaw and Whitfield, especially Brayshaw, okay, pretty much is a top 4 this year. So a must have. I should have started Brayshaw as the problem. I didn't. Now, then we go to round 6. We tried out Roberts, okay, and we explained the reason for that is because we had to, let's go back to our team here, well, brought in Petrarca, it was gone, but it went to Petrarca. The reason we traded out Roberts was this, okay, if we go to our team, because some people are saying, why would you trade out a primo? Okay, well, Roberts, for starters, not a primo, okay, and secondly, I needed to get these 3 players on field. I had Zach Reed on the bench the previous week scoring a 104, so I needed to put Zach Reed on the field. And the minute I do that, he scores a 38. But at the end of the day, these 3 players are my highest scoring rookies. I need them all on field. And I don't need Roberts scoring a 100 here. I need Roberts scoring a 100 here, okay, which Petrarca did for me. So I'll take that because these 3 have to play. Except I didn't do it last week. So looking at our team now, it actually looks decent. That's the part that's killing me, okay? The team, it looks decent. We've got the Whitfields, the Sinclairs, the Zorkos. We've got Brayshaw. Cheezels, I'm not liking. Got Rowell. The team is okay. It's not the best. Okay, we could have got Dacos last week. It was probably a better option than picking up Petrarca, but I needed the extra cash. I allowed for 100k, 106k cash, so that I can pick up Flynn this week. That's why I didn't spend all my cash last week. But the team is not good enough because of the rookies. We need to get these all off the field, and we've absolutely ruined the season. It's cooked. The team's cooked because I'm giving up 100 points virtually every week. 100 points I'm giving up every week. So by the time we get to around where are we up to round 7? I'd say by the time we get to round 8 is when it'll level out because by then I'll have higher scoring. There'll be no more 30s on field. But that's too long. By round 8, I've cooked the season. But it's not the end of the year, okay? Because we're still going to fight. Now, we're going to go to all the games around the grounds, okay? Now, we're going to first off start with Brisbane versus Collingwood. At Brisbane, unbelievable, okay? Now, only 2 players scoring 100 at Brisbane is unheard of, okay? Now, you got Lachie Neale scoring the 113, only 25 touches, okay? And even he had a bad game. And then you got Answorth. Now, where are the others, okay? Levi Ashcroft scoring 89. I don't know how he got his points, but he's a scoring machine. I mean, playing at half forward, getting these scores on a constant basis. He's almost better than half the players in half my primos. So a big miss there. We go further down. Josh Dunkley scored the 83. I don't understand. 21 disposals. He went at 66%. He didn't do it this week. We got McCluggage scored the 80. I mean, looking at the fantasy points, Dunkley 97, McCluggage 62. But Dunkley is getting his points because he's taking a few marks, I suppose. So these marks in fantasy add up, whereas in Supercoach they don't. But I'm just upset. Okay, now we go Zorko 70. None of the Lions players scored. Okay, even Will Ashcroft scored the 43. Unbelievable. Okay, now another player we missed, but although we wouldn't have missed him last week. Okay, he would have been more of a disaster. But look, going to Collingwood, and we go to Nick Dacos 172. Okay, no one saw this coming. Even he was tagged for one of the quarters. They took the tag off him because he's just too good. So he's gone up about 20k in price. He's still cheap. You can watch him all year. Okay, you can watch Dacos, not own him, and then not want to watch any Collingwood games because it's going to be very painful to watch. Do you bring him in? We'll discuss that in tomorrow's video. Ned Long scored the 96, 21 disposals, kicked a goal, went at 66%. He virtually outscored my primo. Okay, now Ned Long was a 280k player. We passed on him because we thought he's not going to do it, but he did. He did it again. Do we bring him in next week? It's a gamble. Or this week? Do we bring him in this week? He's gone up about 25 or 30k. Possibility. Still cheap, 311k. At 311k, if you're scoring like a primo, it's a bargain, okay? Because you're scoring like a 450k player, virtually as good as pretty much every 450k player I've got, okay? So as good as a Chera, virtually Ned Long is right now. So do you bring him in? Okay, possibly yes. Who else at Collingwood? That's pretty much it at Collingwood. Okay, there's no one else of interest. And Perryman again scoring that 32. Terrible. Ed Allen still is the emergency. So maybe one day Ed Allen is going to do what Ned Long has done. Okay, I'm going to find out. But at the moment, Ned Long is going nuts. And we've got to work out, do we want to bring him in or not? Now, we go to North Melbourne. Cherry had a good game. Scored the 144. But again, playing against Carlton, usually Ruckman do score well against the Conning. Okay, so Cherry had his big game. Caleb Daniel, actually, only one North Melbourne player scored 100 this game. Only one, and that was virtually Cherry. No one else played. Okay, you can see no one turned up. Even Caleb, even the defenders didn't turn up. It doesn't make any sense. So Caleb Daniel scored the 88. Cheezels the 86. Simpkins 78. No one scored. Uniac 72. I mean, I owned Uniac last year. It was painful to watch, and I can see that if you own Junior, you can see the pain that you have as an owner. Okay, now Zach Fisher comes in, scores 35, gets subbed out. So you think, okay, now he's subbed out. Maybe Cheezels gets that role. No, he didn't. He stayed on his wing, half forward, midfield role. This role is really killing me right now. The only time Cheezels played half back was when Fino Sullivan didn't play. Okay, Fino Sullivan was either sick, illness, or something. He didn't play that week. That was the only time that we saw Cheezels play half back. All the other times he's played half forward, mainly half forward, wing, pretty much everywhere. But it's painful to own right now, Cheezels. Now you go to Carlton and Hewitt. If you started Hewitt, genius. Okay, and now people asked me pre-season, what do you think about Hewitt? And I said he's on my never again list because he cost me $50K 2 or 3 years ago. But if you picked Hewitt, he's probably your key to winning the $50K this year. So Hewitt was a great starting option. Chera, again, the 110, 28 disposals. We got Sam Walsh, 107. The player of interest here, okay, at Carlton is Patrick Cripps, scoring 82, playing a lot of forward time, even last week forward. Well, now that Harry Mackay's going to come back, and also Pitternet is going to be coming back soon, maybe not this week, maybe possibly the following week. When Pitternet comes back and the Conning moves to the forward line, then Patrick Cripps is going to go back in that midfield, and that's when you're going to see Patrick Cripps at his best again. So this may affect Hewitt and Chera and Walsh, and pretty much because he's going to be the fourth. He's going to be the first banana in there, not the fourth or fifth banana. So Cripps will affect these scores, but not by much. Okay, so but you're not going to see Hewitt score 171s every week. Now, we have Carroll on the bubble this week, okay, but we have Carroll may play this week, but job security-wise, we don't know, okay. Well, we've seen half my team missing these rookies, none of them are guaranteed. So Carroll is another one that's not guaranteed to play because of the fact that they've got players coming back into this team. And I'm not sure about Carroll. I'm going to, even though he's 99K, I don't want to have another player on my bench sitting there doing nothing like half my team is. So if I'm going to pick a rookie, I want either they're going to make a lot of cash, they're scoring hundreds, they're going to make a lot of cash fast in 2 weeks, or I'm just going to pass on them because they're going to be sitting there doing nothing in those buy rounds when we need them. So for me, I'm going to pass on Carroll this week. Now, another player that we got our eye on is Matt Flynn, 141 Supercoach points. So we're going to gamble. I'm going to pick him up possibly this week. We go further down. Elijah Hewitt, another rookie that we missed. Okay, here's another one. Elijah Hewitt, 97. Not that he did much before this week, but looks like he's going to do something now. It says here he had a playing half forward role, switched to the mids in quarter 3. So that's the problem for Hewitt, was the role as well. But looks like he's going back to that midfield. But does he keep that midfield role when we see Gross come back? Because Gross is going to play midfield. So we'll see what Hewitt does. Maric scored at 91, 20 disposals, 15 by foot, a lot of kick-ins. And he was a gamble. If you've gambled on him, it's paid off. There's a lot of players that are gambles this year. We saw Frazier was a gamble, okay? We saw SDK was a gamble. We saw Humpty was a gamble. They all failed. The gambles all failed, except for Maric, okay? He didn't fail. So if you weren't going to gamble all 4 of them, you only got 1 right. So it's very hard to always gamble, okay? So Maric you got right. So for those that only got Maric out of the 4, genius, okay? Because you picked the right one. But Archer Reed, another one we missed out on, okay? 71. I mean, how do you start Archer Reed, okay? He's killed it. So if we had started Archer Reed instead of starting our players that we picked, Would have been a good selection. So that's another one we missed out on. We missed out on a lot, and he was cheap as well. So we missed a few of them. Very hard to nail all of them. Like the War, okay, you can argue that he was one what we missed because he went nuts at the start, but he stopped. So he wasn't one that was a must-have. But it's very hard. You got to have a crystal ball to virtually get all of them right. Now, going to Essendon, Nick Martin. I looked at his heat map. He's played every position possible except the ruck. Okay, and so time on ground 100%. Previous time on grounds at 97, 95, 96. He's playing virtually the whole game. When you worry about seeing a player on the bench, Nick Martin doesn't have this problem. He's always on field. Has forward DPP. I think he's a better pickup than most of our forwards. He's big, massive on my watch list right now. And we're going to try to get him in somehow with no cash, okay, with nothing in the bank. We're going to somehow try to find a way to bring in Nick Martin into our teams. Now, going further down, Zach Merritt scored the 106. That's disappointing again. I mean, even fantasy-wise, 81 fantasy points, 26 disposals, no goals, okay? He was going a lot worse than this score, so he actually picked up, had a decent third or fourth quarter, so... the defenders didn't score, okay, except for Pryor, okay. Of all the defenders to score, Essendon, it was Pryor this week. So Pryor scored the 92, Spuds scored 92, Ridley 85, McGrath 80. None of the defenders scored, okay. I don't understand why, because there was a lot. They had enough action as well. It was a close game, 75 to 77. Yet they didn't get much action scoring wise. And Zach Reed switched to the ruck. Al Howley, okay, scored the 4 points. Our cash making gen, it's just cooked. Okay, there's nothing. If you go further up, you got Kako. He's at least half decent. Scored 50. He's better than my rookies. So scored the 55, but he was a very expensive rookie at the start. We got the ruckman down. Okay, so next week we're going to see Goldie come in because Draper went out. Keeping Goldie's at under 400k, 370. I'm not sure exactly how much, but we're going to keep an eye on Goldie, okay, and possibly going to make cash doing it the unorthodox way, okay? So we're going to find out if we can make money from Goldie. So I'm going to go through trades and show you some very unorthodox ways of making money this year now, because the way we're making money at the moment with rookies is not working, so we need to find an alternative. So we'll go to Melbourne and Freo, and Pickett scored the 134. He had a lot of CBAs as well, but he's got 5 goals in there. So with take the 5 goals out, and he's got around about an 80. All right, so Max Gawn had a massive last quarter, scored the 117, but he was looking unders as well. Okay, so he was actually struggling until that big last quarter. We saw who else here? Bowie. He's looked decent this year, 29 disposals. So if you've jumped on him, you've done well. Okay, I didn't have the cojones to jump on Bowie, but sometimes you just got to pick some players out of left field and just put them in the team. So I passed on him. Petrarca, I think he's back. I think Petrarca's back. Okay, even though it doesn't show on the scoreboard, 25 disposals, went at 64%, 6 clangers, 80% CBAs. He's had 50% for most of the year. Okay, last week 65%, this week 80%. He's getting back to full fitness from the looks of it, because remember he had a restricted preseason, so he could be getting some form back. But the player that's really bugging me right now is Clayton Oliver. Okay, 91 Supercoach points. He's not cracked 100 once this year, 130. That's it. 6 games, one 100. Instead of taking Chera out, I should have taken Oliver out. That's been my biggest mistake. And but that hasn't been my downfall with my points. My points have come from my rookies. But I wouldn't say so. In that case, it wasn't my biggest mistake. My biggest mistake was the rookies. But this was a mistake. Now, going further down, Lindsay scored the 55. Okay, now had 10 kicks, 6 handballs. They play Richmond this week. I'm expecting all these defenders to score well against Richmond. I'm expecting Petrarca, Oliver to at least pick up. Okay, so they've got 2 easy games coming up. They've got to do something. Okay, now go to Freo. Brayshaw is my hero, okay, and I'm happy that I got him. And I captained him 2 weeks back to back. He saved me. Not that he saved me much, not that my team's doing anything, but he's done decent. Bolton's looked decent, but he kicked 3 goals, so he's not going to do that every week. Sarong, he's been very disappointing, okay. Clark has gone under 100 for the first time, okay, or maybe a second time, not sure, but Clark's very consistent with his scoring. Going further down, we may see, because I've heard that Erasmus may come back in this week because we got a player down. Who got? It was O'Meara. O'Meara's out, so maybe Erasmus comes back this week. So it could be on the bubble. I'm not sure, but O'Meara's going to be out for 3 weeks minimum. I'd say he's got the hammy. Okay, so out for 3 weeks, maybe 2 weeks. We'll find out. But Erasmus comes back. Luke Ryan has been a major disappointment. He's virtually similar to my Spuds. I can't believe I don't have Luke Ryan in my team because he belongs in my team, Luke Ryan. The team of Spuds, it's where Luke Ryan belongs. But anyway, he's been a disappointment. But then again, I've got Spuds that replaced him like Zorko, who's doing the same thing. Murphy Reed, 82, scoring better than half my primos. Darcy, 63, okay, 20 hit-outs with 2 goals. Still scored a 63, so Sean Darcy, something wrong with him. He's going to be very cheap. He's not match fit, obviously, so what is it, 2 kicks and 2 handballs for Sean Darcy. That's unheard of in the ruck. So we'll see where that goes. Oscar McDonald had a bit of a ruck time, 5 hit-outs, kicked a goal, but pass, okay, and that's pretty much it. We're going to see Oscar McDonald again. He's going to be on the bubble soon, okay, so we'll see how he goes next week. Now, the previous game, which I just talked about, Melbourne and Freo, I didn't watch that game, and I didn't actually watch this game either, because I had to go to a wedding, okay, and now and I didn't want to see my Spuds, so in this game, I'm just going to go for the scores, pretty much, and we see Dawson's back, okay, 22 kicks, 5 handballs, going at 51% disposal efficiency. Now, put that up to about 70 to 80% disposal efficiency, and this score of 113 is going to be a 150, okay? So once he can get his kicking boots back, he's going to be back big time, Dawson. So Dawson with the 113. You go further down, people ranking. I mean, I saw his scores at halftime. It was on 60-something. I was actually happy. Halftime, I had 3 players on 60+. One of them stopped. I don't know what happened to him, but he finished on 86. You got Saligo on 71. He had 80% CBAs or something high. So he had He had his CBA still, but he stopped scoring. Okay, I know a few friends that brought him in. Draper is still the sub, scoring 7. So it could be a player that we can bring in later on, maybe once he gets full games. So maybe Draper is going to be a cow that we can watch, okay, on the watch list. But pretty much it at Adelaide. We've got Curtin here scoring the 48. I mean, there's nothing here, okay, nothing of big note. But at GWS, Whitfield, the 145, 29 disposals, okay. I'm just happy that I brought him in, okay, because there's no way I can bring him in now, okay, if I didn't have him. So who would I rather have, Whitfield, or would I rather have one of the players that I traded out for him? I'd rather take Whitfield, and I'd rather have Brayshaw. So I'm happy with my trades with Whitfield and Brayshaw. But Callahan is the one I want to talk about here. 27 disposals. I didn't watch the game. I know nothing about it. I've been told that they were heavily pressed by Adelaide. That's why Callahan had a lot of defensive disposals. But from the heat maps, looked like he was playing at halfback. Okay, but he still had 40% CBAs. I'm just hoping that halfback role sticks with him with his CBA so he can get these big scores. But as I said, apparently Adelaide pressed hard, so that's why he was playing at halfback. But pretty much nothing else to talk about. Connor Stone had 14 kicks and 1 handball. I didn't want 14 kicks, 1 handball, 53%. He's getting the ball. You can see fantasy-wise he's scoring, just not doing it in Supercoach. Okay, so it has to turn, surely. Sooner or later, it has to turn around. So Connor Stone, okay, scored the 40 points. I'm still going to hold on to him with the hope that he scores this big one. Because I know the minute I trade him out, he's going to score 100. It happens every week with my players. Whoever goes out scores 100. I'll let you know who I'm going to score trade out this week so you can jump on him, okay, and captain him because guaranteed to go 100 this week. Now, we'll go to Richmond and Gold Coast. And at Richmond, Nang the Tank, he was doing nothing for half the game. Okay, he was on 20-something points from memory. Okay, it was really bad. Okay, first quarter was disgusting. Okay, now he had a big third quarter, jumped to 96, and we all know that Witts is a very hard ruckman to score against. So Nank gave up like 10 centimetres to him, but he did well, scored the 96. So I'm happy with the 96 from Nank. Short scored the 87. 14 kicks, 2 handballs. He's not taking any kick-ins, okay? I don't understand how Short's not taking any kick-ins. Luckily, they've changed it now that... because they had Miller taking all the kick-ins previously. Luckily, that stopped, okay? So I don't know what the coach was thinking, but it's not Miller anymore. But it's now Vlastuin taking a lot of the kick-ins and scoring the 165 Supercoach points. Had a massive game, and he's cheap still. Let's take a look at the kick-ins. Well, with the kick-ins, as you can see, everyone took them, okay? So Vlastuin doesn't own the kick-ins, okay? It was kicked by... He took half of them, or maybe less than half, but doesn't own them. It's whoever's closest to, I think, takes the kick-ins at Richmond. So Vlastuin will come back and take more kick-ins. So will Luke Trainer. It looks like they're all taking kick-ins right now, except for Miller now. Miller got the sack, okay? You can see here, he had one game, round 2, where they gave him all the kick-ins. Then they decided, look, it's not for you, okay? Time for you to stop taking the kick-ins. So he's only had one kick-in in the last 3 games now, Miller, after having 8 in one of the games. So work that one out. What was the brainstorm behind having Miller with the kick-ins? I have no idea. But going back to this game, okay, because there's not much to talk about at Richmond because we don't own many of these players. Lawler, some of you may have him still, scored the 70. It's still decent, okay? Now, Jonty Fall scored 53. He didn't have many disposals, only 6 disposals, but he actually looked good, okay? Now, it was his first game, so we can watch him again following week. Job security should be there, okay? So he'll have jobs, because they're gonna blood these youngsters. So his job security should be secure. Now, Luke Trainer, okay, scored the two Supercoach points. He had 1 handball. Now, the problem is not the 2 points or the 1 handball. They put him on with 5 minutes to go. Okay, the game was already won. You didn't need to put him on. Although the game wasn't actually won yet, but just please, just for the sake of us super coaches, okay, who are struggling to make some money, just help us out. Just help out a brother. Just do something. Just calm it down. He didn't do nothing and put him on with 5 minutes to go so he can get 1 handball, score 2 points, and absolutely destroy cash making from Luke Trainer. Even just drop him, okay? If you're going to rest the boy, just drop him. Let him have a weekend off. Don't make him train in the footy gear. Let him have a break. Put someone else in the team. Don't put our players and put him as a sub and just play him for 5 minutes. Absolutely destroyed us. So not happy right now with this. This is my team. My team won. I should be happy, but I was very happy. But what I was upset about was the fact that Luke Trader comes on for 5 minutes. Anyway, it happened. Now we go to Gold Coast. Matt Rowell, again, he's just a beast. But he does this every year, as we know. So we're going to find out if he can continue this year because we've got his beast mode for now. Can he continue beast mode? I'd rather be on his beast mode and watch him do it than hope he can then bring him in now. So at least I'm getting some of the action from Matt Rowell over the last 2 weeks. Now, we go further down. Took Miller, Anderson. I mean, they're all decent. Okay, they played Richmond. What do we expect from them? But the player that a lot of people are upset about. Okay, let's go down. Well, Humpty scored the 48. Okay, so if anything, if Humpty was going to do well, it had to be this week playing Richmond. Okay, surely you do well against Richmond. I was driving because I was coming back from the wedding to watch this game, so I was driving listening to SEN, and they were saying on SEN, and this is going to be a major victory for Gold Coast. Okay, they were talking 100-point win. They were saying that Gold Coast looking at percentage on SEN. So as I'm driving home to watch this game on the TV, I'm not expecting much, okay? And I'm expecting a massive 100-point loss after the way they talked about my Tigers. But for the fact that Richmond won this game was a shock. And Humpty now scoring the 40, only 7 disposals. The first 2 games he had 20 disposals. See, sometimes you can't just gamble non-stop. You gamble on Humpty, and it's a good gamble. It didn't pay off. You gamble on Maric, it pays off. It's a 50-50 coin flip, which one? And to be honest, at the time, I would gamble on Humphrey than I would gamble on Maric. Even though Maric's got the kick-ins, that's all he's got. Whereas Humpty, he's got the ability to kick goals, plays in the midfield, tackles. So I would have gone Humpty instead of Maric. Again, I would have lost that gamble, lost that coin flip, but I didn't go for any of them anyway because I didn't back none of them in. But anyway, there's ones that I didn't back that I should have backed, and there's ones that I didn't back that I'm happy I didn't back. So this was one of those. Now we go to Sydney and Port Adelaide. Now at Sydney, Matt Roberts scored the 119. Now I expected him to score more than this. I expected him to score a 150 because we traded him out. Okay, I even said it in last week's video. I said Captain Matt Roberts. I warned you all. I said just captain him. He's going to do it because it was obvious. Okay. And he went well, scored the 119, but I have no regrets trading out Matt Roberts because I needed to get him off the field. I needed to have the 3 high-scoring rookies on the field. So even knowing that he was going to score a 150, I traded him out, okay? But maybe I should have kept him and traded out Zorko instead. Just cover down! Anyway, that's not the case. But anyway, Matt Roberts scored the 119. We had here at Sydney, Bice scoring the 79. And we're taking this. Bice is a gun rookie, okay? He's my gun rookie. I know a lot of you have Bice as well, but for me, he's my number 1, okay? I've already in round 1. Now, we go further down. Cleary, he didn't do anything, okay? He scored the 30 points. Disappointing, big time. I brought him in hoping he could score a 70, but no, it didn't happen. And it just smashed me, okay? Now, and then you got my other player, Hanley. He got subbed out at 16, so we're going to sack him this week. Only got the 3 touches. At least he made 100K for us, okay? Very rare that a rookie at Average Magic can make 100K. So Hanley did his job for us this year, well, considering the others didn't. And Warner, well, here's another Spud, scored a 21. Speaking of Spuds, Chad Warner scored a 71. Are we interested in Chad Warner, okay? I traded out the Horny Man because I wanted to bring in Petrarca and Warner. I no longer want to bring in Warner now, okay? I'll change my mind on Warner. I don't care what Warner scores the following week. I've lost interest in Warner. I don't look at Warner's scores last year. What's going on with Warner? Well, he's averaged 103 last year and 22 games. Well, actually, that's decent average, okay? So how does Warner average this? Okay, let's have a look at his scoring patterns. You can see here, 118, 120, 102, 73, 96. Has low games, a lot of high games. You get 172, 144. Then he backs up with low scores, 98, 64, 72, 89, 103. So he's a roller coaster, okay? With Warner, he actually is worth getting, okay, because of the roller coaster. Because when you got best 23, you can use him as a loop, okay? If you can afford to have 24 primos in your team, at Average Magic we can't afford this. But if I had a $12.5 million team, okay, I would highly consider Warner, okay, for this fact. Because you can pass on his low scores, the 38s and the 64s. You can pass all these scores and pick up his good scores. And he's actually perfect. He's not a perfect player to have in your best 22, but he's a perfect player to have in your best 23. So, and let's check out his price. Now, he's priced at $441. What is he priced at? $460K, all right? Break even of 120. So he's going to lose again this week, okay? If he gets 84s, if he scores, problem with Warner, all right? This is what Warner does, all right? You got 84s here. Then you're going to have a big score, say a 140. Then you're going to back that up with a 99. Then you're going to back that up with a 42. Okay, he does this. Okay, so Warner's price fluctuates big time. It jumps up again. A thing to watch with Warner is he could actually be a cash cow. Okay, this is going to sound crazy, but Warner could actually be a cash cow if he can have, instead of this 42 here, all he needs. All right, let's go over here. Let's get these two bad scores out the way. All right, let's go to 140. Let's back it up for 150, and then go back to 190. All right, what does Warner do when this happens? All right, let's have a look. Let's go project. So Warner drops, just say to 430k. All right, and you pick him up at a cheap price, 430k, and then he has two big scores back to back. What happens? He gets to 545k. So you've made 120k on Warner. Warner is one player that I would actually use as a cash cow, okay? And because after this, he'll drop again, okay? He'll go back down to 400 and something K, because you can see with his patterns here last year. Look at his price. Started at 560, all right? Went to 570. It didn't drop much actually last year. It dropped to 540k, all right? Went up to 600k even, all right? Even 630k. It dropped to 490k, okay? So from 630 to 490 in the blink of the eye, okay? And then fell heaps downwards again. Then was on a trajectory back up after the 164. All you need from Warner is two big games. Here, the 172 and the 144. He goes from 529k up to 630k. He would have gone higher if this was a big score. He would have been a big break even there. So Warner, you can actually try to bring in, if you're not making cash from your rookies, you can sort of try to do it from the primos, and that's what we're going to do this year. We're going to aim at making money from primos. We're going to change the way we play Supercoach as of this week. Everything is going to change. We're going to have a new method. I'm going to show it to you. Just calm it down. Now, we're going to Port Adelaide, and Zach Butters, 164. And how are we going to bring in Zach Butters? We're wanting him to drop in price. He goes up in price. Not only does he go up in price, he scores a 164, which goes in a 3-week scoring cycle, which keeps his price high. He's going to be impossible to own. I don't even know if we'll have Zach Butters this year. We're just going to watch him, okay? We're going to watch him, marvel him, and say, well, what a gun, okay? One day we'll own Zach Butters, because we're not going to get Zach Butters in our teams until minimum after the buys. I'll show you why. Now, current price is 658k. His break even is 90. Let's just say he goes at 120s, all right? Just 120s, okay? Let's under project his scores, all right? Because his first 3 games, or 135, 164 last 2, let's just say he goes at 120s. At 120s, he's not dropping price. He's not going under 600k till the end of the season nearly, okay? If he goes at 120s, major problem, okay? So we need him to have a bad one virtually straight away, as soon as possible, okay? He needs to have a bad one very quick. Let's say against the Dogs, he scores a 96. Against Adelaide, a 103. Cops a tag at Geelong, scores an 84. Then things change. When you do this, then he drops in price, 570. After the buys, you can pick him up about 570k. So we need him to go under 100, or around about the 100 mark, 3 weeks in a row. That's all we need. Okay, so Zach Butters, we are all hoping. Okay, not that we don't like the young man. We like the young man. Okay, I actually marvel at him. Okay, but we just want him to have 3 bad games back to back. Not disaster games. I'm not talking 60s. I'm talking hundreds. Okay, even if it just goes 100. Okay, even if this one's 100, it projects even worse. Okay, he has 4 in a row. Okay, then he loses a lot. It goes up about 550k, 560k. Just those 4 bad games we need, okay? Because he's not going to continue to score at 135, 164. No one averages this kind of scoring rate for the rest of the season. It's nearly impossible. So let's see what happens with the Butterman. Now, Kane Farrell scoring the 118 at halfback, okay, but with the kick-ins. Connor Rosie scored the 103, 21 kicks, 6 handballs. From memory, he had 3 kick-ins and a goal, okay? Now, that's decent. The only thing with Rosie now is that they have an injury to Ollie Wines. The minute Wines got injured, we saw, well, it wasn't actually the exact minute, but when Wines got injured, we saw that Rosie had a bit of mid-time this time. So he did play a few mid-minutes, not much, but he played a bit there. So Rosie is halfback, now becomes a halfback mid-roll, okay, I would say now. The Horny Man scored the 94, 18 kicks, 2 handballs. He has a big quarter that gets him big points, okay? So the Horny Man's always going to go around about the 100 mark, okay? We're now going to go against him, okay? We're gonna play against the Horny Man for the rest of the year because we've got nothing to lose, okay? What's the point? I'm not going to win Supercoach, so I might as well back against him because I don't enjoy watching the Horny Man play. I want to bring in players that I enjoy watching play. So Horny Man will not enter my team this year. I don't care if he scores 150s. He's not coming into my team. I can't stand him. Okay, that's the problem. So I don't want to watch. I don't like people that are on angry pills all the time. Okay, I like people that are happy. Although Butters is usually on angry pills as well. They're playing AFL. They expect this. But the Horny Man, he's always on angry pills. Okay, so I just want people to be a bit more calm when they play footy. So that's why I liked Connor Rosie. But unfortunately, he wasn't scoring well. I actually like Connor Rosie a lot. Now, going further down, there's nothing else. So the Mariah scoring the 30, 68% time on ground. Disappointed. I saw him scoring a lot more than this, and totally misjudged what he would score. So even Rory Atkins off the bench scored more than what Mariah scored. So disappointing with Mariah's. Now we go to the Dogs in St Kilda, and the Bont is back. And now if we thought the Butters a problem to bring the Butters in, bringing the Bont in is going to be another problem. So the Bont can go down to 110s maybe, but kick 2 goals. He always does kick goals anyway. He moves forward, kicks goals. How are we going to get the Bont in? How are we going to get Butters in? We've still got to get Dacos in. Okay, we've got a disaster at Abs Magic. So Freya, some would have traded him out, and he's got a 124. Okay, now that's insane. Now let's have a look at Freya's break even. Now, Freya's scores up until, we talk about trading out players, okay, and then they're going nuts. This happens to me usually, okay. Now, this would happen to some of you now, okay, because you would have seen the scores of 68, 49, 50 and traded them out, and rightly so, because he hasn't done it. And then all of a sudden he goes and scores a 124. You'd be bleeding as well, okay. It happens to me now, it happened to other people. So he only made the 4K. So he didn't make nothing, but it's what he's going to make after this that's the problem. Because if he goes at, say, 85, all right, if he goes at 85, he's going to make you not much, 18K, 50, another 50K, okay? It's not worth bringing in, okay? That's the problem. You can't, unless he's going to go, if he goes at, say, 90 or 100, if he goes at 100, you project it, then he's going to make money. Can he go at 100 is the gamble, because you just seen a 68, 49 to 50, then you see a 124. So the floor is too low, okay, for him to make this kind of cash. That's the problem. He can have a big score, we just seen it, but the floor is so low that it just kills his cash making. So it's a no from me, from Freya. Now we've got to Ed Richards scoring the 119. Now here's one player I didn't want to trade out, but I had no choice. I had to bring in Whitfield and I had to bring in Brayshaw, the 2 that I had to have. So unfortunately for me, Ed Richards was the guinea pig. I'm not sure what they call it, but he was the victim of being traded out because of the fact that only 1% or 2% owned him. So he was killing me. So I had to trade him out. Scored the 119. And I think he'll do well for the rest of the year as well. The reason I called him the weapon, because I predicted that he'll do well. He will do well, but unfortunately I couldn't have him, okay, because there were other players I needed. And Libba, he goes every year, okay. Is Libba? It doesn't matter what age he's going to be. He's going to play when he's 50. Libba, he's going to be 50 years old. He's still going to score 112. So it doesn't matter. He's going to be 70, okay, Libba. He'll still score 112. Just calm it down, okay. Here's a gun. Now, when you go further down, Dale scored the 93. He was actually struggling, and then had a massive second half. Then he did really well, okay? So Dale picked up his scoring, but even that's disappointing, okay? Because we're expecting our defence to score a lot more, and they haven't. Tim English has been the biggest disappointment of the year, okay? Scored another 90, 30 hitouts, and this was against the Saints, and this is the game where he should have dominated, but he didn't. So Tim English, so disappointed with him. Lucky I was going to have him. So, the players I even think about turning to Spuds. That's what happens. And Davidson, 82, very happy. Okay, he's back. Made some cash for us. We kept him. And we go further down, and there's not much here. Okay, Hines is on the bubble, I think. It was a sub. Scored the 27, 9 disposals, but had a lot of time on ground. So he may play next week, but is he worth it? I'm not sure. Okay, and unfortunately, Sam Darcy got injured this game. Scored the 16. But it's not as bad as first thought, so maybe he comes back end of the year and plays in the finals, hopefully for the Dogs. Now, at the Saints, it's disaster everywhere, okay? Only 2 players cracking the hundreds, and only one of them is Supercoach relevant, and that's McRae. He's back, 104. Wangan and Milera, 99, 25 disposals. That's a disappointing score, to be honest. And I'm not sure about his role anymore. Looked like he played wing, half forward, half back. I don't know where he played in the midfield, had CBAs, and that affected it because he was actually doing really well. And then he stopped once he went into the middle. So we don't want to see, if you're owner of Wangan and Milera or a potential owner, we do not want to see him in the midfield, okay? We go further down, and Sinclair, 70 Supercoach points, kicked the first goal of the game. I thought we're in for a big one, okay? Some people captained him, 70 points, disappointing plus. Go further down, there's not much else here to talk about. Roll Marshall, 65. His price is getting smashed. Let's check out Royal Marshall's price. Well, from his starting price, Royal Marshall has lost 143k. Unbelievable. Okay, now, if you go to the season stats, right, Royal Marshall, the last 3 games, 61, 52, 65. The break even is still at 155. This will be the last week. If he scores he's playing the Lions, not easy to score against, okay? So if say he scores a 90, all right? Scores a 90, you can pick up Royal Marshall next week at 432k. You can even pick him up the following week, similar price, 420, around about 430k. You can pick him up for. Then his draw, what is it? Okay, well, plays Carlton, so that's decent. Okay, even the game against Freo should be decent. West Coast. Then his draw still toughens up. Gold Coast, Melbourne. Then he has Freo again. Sydney, that's a tough one for him. Melbourne again. So he's got Melbourne twice. Gold Coast once. Sydney, even the Hawthorn game might be tough for him. The Freo game usually should be easy for him, but Sean Darcy will improve by then. Still has to play Sherry. He hasn't played Sherry yet. Still got to play against the Nank. He did okay against the Nank the first time. His draw gets tough, okay? Would you get him at 430k? Would you pick up Royal Marshall? I can't even tell you, okay, because he's playing injured as well. We don't know the extent of the injury. We don't know how bad it is. He's always a possible laid out every week, okay? They have him as a test to play. He's playing injured. I think he'll improve. If, after the 427k drop, he starts scoring 110s, okay? Even now, even this week, if he starts scoring 110s, what happens to his price? Goes from 440k, say to around about 500k. It doesn't go up enough to make a cash on him. All right, so he needs to have a big game. All right, for example, he needs a big 150, 2 of them. All right, 134, 150. Then with Royal Marshall, you're gonna make 100k. All right, and he's capable of doing this. So it's gonna be a matter of timing if you want to use Royal Marshall as a cash cow, because once you bring him in, he's going to score these 2 big scores, hopefully, because that's the whole idea of timing, and then you're going to make money from him. Now, going further down, Jack Steele, 46. Unheard of, Jack Steele, 46. Okay, if you think Royal Marshall is playing injured, what's Jack Steele doing at 46? It's another player we can make cash off, but not yet. I'm in no hurry, because I don't trust him yet. So I want to see it from Jack Steele. Only the 4 tackles. The tackling's not there. Every year there's a problem with Jack Steele, and this year it's worse than any other year. Okay, so Jack Steele's just not doing it. Maybe when Poo comes in the team, it'll improve him, but I prefer Poo over Jack Steele right now. And that's pretty much it. Garcia didn't score. No one's scoring here. at St Kilda. We now go to the Geelong and Hawthorn game. Okay, now at Geelong, we got players scoring well, only 3 of them cracking 100s, okay, and you have a win, okay, you win by 7 points, and only 3 of your players barely cross 100 because it's a consistent basis, okay. They hardly even scored 90, their players. They didn't score anything, okay. I've never seen nothing like this. And you see the Hawthorn players going 150s, 130s, but it was a weird scoring system. I didn't have many plays from this game anyway, but Bailey Smith, okay, I want to talk about Bailey Smith now, okay. Now, Bailey Smith, he was on 60 or something like that at half time. He was looking half decent. He was on like 40 at quarter time. So, what happened to Bailey Smith? I don't know. Now, going further down, we saw Tom Stewart score a 64. I didn't see this coming. We knew he was going to drop in cash, drop in value this week. We were actually targeting him for this week. I don't know if I want him anymore. Is he injured? I don't know. I don't know what happened, but scored the 64. Maybe it's the fact that the Hawks didn't kick the ball long, and so there's not many intercept marks. Because you saw all their defenders. Let's have a look. None of the defenders actually scored. The Conning 75, and you probably got that from the ruck work. We go to actually I don't even know who played ruck. No hit out, so I can't remember. But we go down. Guthrie 64, O'Sullivan 54. Their defenders didn't score. Okay, so maybe it was a game not for defenders, because if you look at Hawthorn, besides Carl Amon, who went nuts, and he playing half back, their tall defenders didn't score either. So, I mean, then again, you look at Dylan Moore, their forwards didn't score, so 36. So maybe the ball got there differently against Hawthorn and Geelong. There was no interceptions and nothing like that. So, but going back to Geelong, Nevitz scoring the 40, played a full game. He looked, I don't know, it doesn't look like a midfielder to me. It doesn't look like, he jogs after a player, doesn't run after a player, doesn't hard tackle that player. He did have 4 tackles, but he just looks slow, okay, and not the player that I thought he was going to be, and pretty much he was the reason I selected him, hoping that he'd be an 80s type scoring player and cover those expensive rookies that are scoring the 80s. I thought Nevitt would do the same job. I got that one wrong, and so unfortunately it's cost me the season. Virtually players like Nevitt cost me the season so far, giving up 40 points, 50 points every week, and even though I had Nevitt on the bench, it didn't matter. I've lost confidence in him, so it didn't work out. Colossi again scored the 14, so another rookie that's not making cash, one that we don't own for a change, but another one is a no good. Okay, this one. Now we go to the Hawks, and Carl Amon, we just mentioned, the 152. Okay, he doesn't do it every week, but it's a good score. John Newcomb, I like, 134, 28 disposals. He was sleeping at one stage again, had the blanket and pillows out, okay, and because every time he comes out to the ground, he sleeps, then he wakes up, okay, and when he wakes up, does he wake up? Okay, he went nuts. So 134, contested possessions only 11, and tackles 9. That's actually high for him. So I thought he would have had more contested possessions, but he didn't. Going further down on Hawthorn, there's not much to talk about. The Sick Dog scored the 74. If we go further down, there's actually nothing. Dylan Moore, 36, unbelievable. He's going to be really cheap, okay? So but he's got a good draw coming up, so maybe he won't be that cheap. He won't be cheap enough for us to get him in anyway. Now, going back to our team, we have to be realistic, okay? We're not here to pull people's legs, okay? This year we failed, okay? It's a big fail. It's only round 6, and we've already failed, okay? We actually failed in round 2. That's where the damage was done. When we didn't pick up a few of these rookies that we should have. However, we're only human, okay? We make mistakes and things happen. We keep our chin up high, okay? We fight again, and now we aim for something different. And if I'm going to enjoy Supercoach, the only way I enjoy Supercoach is when I'm fighting for a top 100, or if I enjoy watching the players. And there are some players in my team right now that I don't enjoy watching. So I'm going to remove all of them. Okay, I'm going to just play out the season and try to enjoy players that I like watching and bring them in. And that's what's going to happen. And you'll see some trades this week. We're going to do trades very different to any other week that we've done trades. So you're going to see the trades. We're going to go unorthodox now. No more orthodox play. Everything's going to be unorthodox. And we're either going to bust and finish top 100,000 this year, or we're going to finish in the top 1,000. But we're going to play very different now. Now, going over to the leagues and Scodfather Legends, looks like we're going to finish last this year. Okay, we're coming 16th, and we lost to JD. He smashed us, had a percentage boost. I think everyone just wants to play against Abs Magic this year now, whereas previous years, sometimes we used to be a feared team. Well, we're not feared this year anymore. We're just playing for draft picks for next year. We're trying to we're tanking, as you will call. Just come down. Anyway, we'll go further down. The Scodfather champs, at one stage, we looked like we might even win this game, but who was I to kid now? I don't know how we're in 8th spot, but we are. We're at 8th at the moment, and the Scodfather champs. Now, we go down, further down, Scodfather Cup 1, Fins Up, that's Caleb's team, had a smashing against us. He smashed us. Had a close game in Scodfather Cup 2, okay? Poor old James, the hooligans, even though he won, he's probably feeling the heat like I am right now with their poor score. We've got Isaac's team, Daddy Manly 9, and had a big win. Well, virtually everyone had a big win against Abs Magic. We had Brothers Maynards, they're coming 5th. They had a big win. We had the big sexies. They were very sexy this week. 22-74 had a smashing against us. We actually won a game. I can't believe that we won a game. Okay, this is against Lucas 2, coming 20th, the young man. Okay, and unfortunate for him. We have Lucas, that's Husey's team. He smashed us. Actually had another win. I can't believe we won 2 games. This is against my mate Peter from Eugene United. Okay, and scored the 1983. The theme here is we're coming 16th in every league almost, okay? Very rare. We even got a 20th. We're coming last in this one. Scodfather Cup 7th. We're coming. I can't believe this. Now, if we go further down, the City Walk smashed us as Jeff's team, 227 to 1993. And that's pretty much it. I've pretty much lost in every league possible. We're down. But we're not out. We're going to fight, and we're going to change things around. We don't know how we're going to do it, okay? We don't have the answers yet, but we're going to find some answers tomorrow. We're going to dig in deep. That's all for today. Thank you for joining, and remember one thing. It's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. Ciao for now.
That's all, folks.